Hey guys, Never Some Dundee here today, and the LF Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black has been announced for Zenkai Awakening. Honestly, he was the unit I wanted to get Zenkai Awakened. Any LF in the game at the moment that was meant to get a Zenkai Awakening during this Legends Fest, I thought it had to be this Rose. This Rose, in my opinion, for his Zenkai Awakening and everything, is probably the worst LF in the game at the moment. There's only a few other non-Zenkai LFs like UI Goku who can like compete with how bad they are, but honestly I'm really glad that he's getting his Zenkai Awakening. I'm super excited for it because he has the potential to do really well in this meta, especially with his kit already has it so that he nullifies endurance just in general, so that'll be a crucial part they need to like take advantage of, in my opinion. So we've got some information here. Unlock uniques to destroy 2 enemy cards and reduce their key by 50 when they cover change. So this is actually pretty darn good. It makes it so that it's kind of similar to the LF Future Gohan's cover change where he comes in and he destroys 2 cards, but instead for him it's when your opponents do the cover change, they have 2 cards destroyed and then lose 50 key, which is actually very annoying, can disrupt your enemies pretty well depending on your combo, like how long. Let's say you just use 1 strike and that's it, they've come into the game with potentially 50 key and half the amount of cards they have in their hand, so that's actually pretty good. And then we've got recover 20% of damage received after an enemy attack to strike back with ease. Okay, so after he's taken some damage he gets more damage on top of that, which is always nice. But I think this dude is going to be perfect. So if you take a look at his kit right now, at 7 stars, the amount you need to have him at to Zenkai him, fully soul boosted, level 5000 and everything, he has pretty horrendous stats if I'm being honest. 222 strike attack, that needs to be like bumped up to like the 260,000s. This needs to be like the 250,000s for it to be anywhere near as good. Defenses, I would like it to be in the 170,000 if he does get the proper defensive treatment. If it's in the 160,000, it's not too bad, but 170,000 would be fantastic with him. He seems to be like a pretty all-rounded kind of unit, so I feel like they will make it so that these are bumped up pretty nicely, and they are pretty even at the moment anyway, so it should be like that. So hopefully they do that well with his main ability and everything. I think his main ability at the moment is actually pretty good. He has the ultimate arts card that he draws, the Ultra Divine Dance, which is pretty powerful because if you quickly take a look at it, the Ultra Divine Dance does massive explode damage, maybe increases to Supreme, but I feel like Zenkai units with massive is still a lot of damage, and he has it so that depending on the amount of battle members are still alive, the damage goes up. So if he's the last man standing, it's plus 90%. If there's one more alongside him, it's 60%. Then if everyone's alive, it's plus 30%. So I feel like they don't really need to add too much for. Can I go up? Hello? Okay. They don't really need to do too much about adding damage here. Maybe they just add it so that with the main ability alongside with the health restoration of 30% and key gain by 50, they add like maybe an extra 20% the damage inflicted for 10 timer count. That'll make it so that even with like the conditions of having 3, 2 or 1 battle member alive, it has that potential to do a lot of damage either way. So I feel like that would be pretty good. And then gain attribute upgrade minus 100% to enemies sustained damage cut for 30 timer counts. That's actually pretty darn powerful and makes it so that it will be kind of annoying if you just get attacked by this guy with an ultimate and he just absolutely devastates your unit. You come in with an endurance unit, yeah, you think you're fine, and then you just wipe them away with the ultimate. That's kind of what I want his ultimate to do, because he needs to be very powerful after his Zenkai Awakening. He also cancels own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions, which is always pretty nice. Okay, first main ability, apply the following effects to self when the battle starts. So he gets plus 60% to damage inflicted and reduces damage received by 45%. Pretty decent. Maybe bump this up to 80% because I feel like having more damage inflicted at this point, 60% isn't quite enough. I feel like having 80% or higher is kind of the minimum requirement for Zenkais at the moment. Reduce the damage received by 45%, maybe bump that up as well. Maybe to 50% will be nice because it will just help in general, but overall it's not too bad. Maybe add some conditions like he gets like plus 30% to strike damage inflicted, because he is a mainly melee type unit, so you will want to use strike with him. And overall I feel like that will be pretty decent from that. Reduces enemy ki by 10 when this character enters the battlefield. Increase that to 20, maybe 25, because it'll be a bit more annoying. Yeah, reducing it by 10 makes it so that they might not be able to use one of the cards in the combo, but you want to make it a bit higher so that it kind of just makes it so that they can't use the cards in general, because there are a lot of instances where if they're charge stepping or anything, that reduction of 10 ki doesn't really affect them too drastically. Additional plus 10% to damage inflicted per enemy battle member. So okay, so when he enters, depending on how many the enemy battle members are, he can get up to 30%, which I think maybe increases to 15 or 20, because they'll make it so that it can potentially be another 60% to damage inflicted every time he enters the battlefield while the whole enemy team is alive, and it resets. So of course, if the enemy battle members reduce to like 2 or 1, it will change so that it gets 10% and 20% and so on. So that's not too bad. Add a few things to that and it'll be pretty nice. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10 to all art cost for free time accounts after enemy attack is over. I kind of wish this was just like when he enters the battlefield, because that'll make it super annoying. Along with this reduction of the ki, that'll make it so that they just have a horrible time trying to get cards off. They'll probably use free cards and that's about it, and it'll be like very annoying to go up against him just covetating and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty good. Next, Purging Blades nullifies enemies endurance basically, so that's one of his key features. They have that in his disposal, so hopefully they just capitalize on that. Draws a strike arts card next every time when faced with an enemy, so depending on what your enemies do, he can just keep on getting strike cards over and over. I hope they make it so that he gains some ki as well, so that he can actually combo into the strike cards when he draws it. Like, just make it so that he recovers 20 ki so that he can just use that one strike if necessary. So that would be pretty good. Plus a 50% chance to reduce enemies Dragon Ball by 1 upon landing a strike cards. I know this was a pretty devastating thing when he was used in PvP. He'd have a lot of chances where he could just keep on destroying your opponent's Dragon Balls. And I remember, I think the most I've ever had it is that he's gotten rid of 3 of my opponent's Dragon Balls through using strikes, which is actually pretty insane to get 3 Dragon Balls in the match just through using strikes, just dealing damage to your opponent, which is very good. And then of course he cover changes with strikes and it's combo into special moves. So what they could do, so we know that he's gonna disrupt your enemies when they cover change by destroying 2 cards, reducing their ki by 50, and then he has like more damage potential. So it seems like maybe make him do more damage to Saiyans, God Ki, maybe even Hybrid Saiyans, because that Hybrid Saiyans and God Ki would be pretty dangerous. But I feel like Saiyan and Hybrid Saiyan would be the 2 most viable solutions at the moment. He needs to have card draw speed, maybe implement it into his main ability, or just make it so implement it into his main ability, implement it into his main kit as well, so that he could get up to like 2 times card draw speed, or make it so that there's a way of him just increasing card draw speed, because I think that's like a feature he needs. He needs type neutrality. Maybe type neutrality would be insane, because it's not too insane at the moment, because I think the main people he'd have to watch out for is the LF Future Gohan, the Super Saiyan 4 tag Goku and Vegeta, because when it's in Vegeta he will probably do a lot against this guy, but having type neutrality will make it so that he can survive, because that is a major thing. But yeah, I feel like there's not too many things they need to add. As long as they go along the right lines here, they can add a few more things to him that'll make it so that he is a top tier Zenkai, similar to the Zenkai LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He has extreme bleed on his strikes, which is actually pretty good. It's blue card Divine Black Kamehameha. This is one which is actually pretty good. Nullifies his own unfavorable element factors for free time accounts, so he's type neutral at the time he's using it, and it does area damage. So at any point, because it deals massive explode damage, it will just do a ton of damage to anyone it hits, and it'll deal a portion of it to the standby members, which is actually insane. This could be honestly devastating after his Zenkai Awakening. Okay, his green card, he goes towards them to activate this. He draws a special move arts card next. It activates once, maybe increase it to 2, but it's not too bad. Restores ki by 50, so he could use that special move, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Maybe increase that to 30%, or increase that to 25 timer counts, or 30. Gain attribute upgrade plus 40% to the duration of bleed, heavy bleed, or extreme bleed, which actually is really good. To have the duration extended for another 30% is really good. Just whittling the enemy's health down even more. Like, that chip damage is actually insane. You notice with extreme bleed especially, a lot of times the enemy has swapped out, they've had extreme bleed onto them, and they've gone down to 1 health without you even knowing. And of course it's comboable into pretty much anything else in his arsenal, so it's really good. Maybe they could even add increases card draw speed for 10 timer cards, or nullifies unfavorable elements for a certain amount of timer cards. They need to just make it so that he has ways of getting that. And then of course we've gone over the ultimate. Maybe make it so that these do a bit more damage, or he has a few extra things where upon activation plus 20% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts and that sort of stuff. But overall, I think this dude can be a beast. He has the potential to be insane in my opinion, and especially if you have him at 14 stars, he can go, as I said, well, at 7 stars I was expecting it probably won't go to 260,000 at 7 stars. At 14 stars it will probably, actually now that I'm looking at 14 stars, it looks like he could potentially just go up to a very high amount of strike and blast attack. So that should be insane. At 7 stars, I'm hoping that it goes to at least the 240,000, but 14 stars, it needs to be in the like 270s, maybe even 280,000 in my opinion. So that would be crazy. And then what I think he should buff is, it's kind of weird because I think whatever he buffs here will be what is gonna get like introduced for the second part of the anniversary. So if he buffs Purple Future, there's not a lot of Purple Futures that are too exciting to Zenkai buff. We got the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, the Zenkai Fusion Zamasu, the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, this Goku Black who needs the Zenkai Awakening himself. You could Zenkai buff Sal, which wouldn't be too bad, but I feel like Future, I feel like it will be Future because they will probably do a second part for Future and it'll be based around that. But if they do God Key, that'll be pretty cool. The amount of Zenkai buffs he could get for that will be actually insane because he himself already will be able to get so many Zenkai buffs. Purple Saiyan, Purple God Key, there's Purple Powerful Opponent. Like, there's so many to do. He could be 5 times Zenkai buff, but adding, I don't even think God Key needs any more if I'm being honest. So maybe just make it so that he doesn't really do that. Purple Powerful Opponents would not be a bad choice because of course Ultra Broly could get Zenkai buff, the full power Jiren with his unique platinum equipment, of course Perfect Cell, he was on Future as well, he'd get Zenkai buff. This Piccolo too old, probably needs a Zenkai at this point, and the new Android 17, that would be pretty good. But it's honestly interesting to see how they'd handle his thing. In my opinion, I think they are going to go the Future way. They will make it so that the second part is Future, and then we will probably get Ultra Vegito Blue because that'll be insane in my opinion. And I feel like Future does need a new very powerful purple unit because most of the time you will just use Perfect Cell, who is a fantastic option, but he should replace him and make it so that Future will actually look pretty darn nice. You got the Android, Super Saiyan, Trunks, Super Saiyan, Gohan, maybe Vegito Blue or Goku Black. Goku Black is actually a really good unit. I wish I pulled him like any copy at all because he's actually pretty darn good. But I feel like Future could look good, especially if they, imagine if he gets his unique platinum equipment as well. That would actually make it insane this week. Hopefully they do a lot this week because last week they were lacking on it. But yeah, I'm excited for this guy Zenkai. He should be fantastic. His art just from here looks great, so if they make the art as good as his new kit and everything, he should be fantastic. So let me know in the comment section below if you're excited for him, if you wanted it to be maybe UI Goku or Go GL Blue or something like that. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Obviously, more in the future, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.